welcome everyone. Welcome back this week as we're going to kick off a brand new series of our video game book club, and we are going to do a Wolfenstein game. And Preston, this is your pick, so I'm just going to pass it right over and let you get to it because there's a lot here.
There is. There's a lot more than I thought there was going to be. So apologies for anyone following along who's like, "Damn, Preston, you chose like a fuck ton long part one." I apologize. The guy I was watching playing
a long
it,
part one.
I guy was watching playing. I'm like, man, he finished this in like just under 3 hours. I'm like, this is plenty of time. I was rewatching his stuff like while I was doing my notes because I play it and I like to watch some of his gameplay to do my notes. That person was playing on easy mode. That's not fair because he didn't have to go through this game in certain levels as many times as I did. But we'll get into it. But yeah, we are doing.
You go through the levels in this game on normal.
Dude, we'll get there, but I got stuck in some spots pretty badly.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, we're doing Wolfenstein: The New Order. I think we are safe to say that we will probably doing the entire series of this new run of Wolfenstein. So we'll be going into the expansions or spin-offs that are after that. Then we'll go into the second one as well. But The New Order was made in 2014 by Machine Games, who you may know from the recent Indiana Jones game, but also from games like The Riddick, Escape of Butcher's Bay, and Dark Athena, and a handful of other games that are really good. It came out on...
Side note.
Yeah.
Those games are amazing, and shout out to Machine Games.
Yes, and they make great first-person shooters, or first-person games for that matter.
The no-clip documentary on that studio that they did is fantastic.
Yes, I haven't watched it yet. I didn't want to get spoiled on anything, so I'm going to watch that once we finish the series. But yeah.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
They break it up actually between pre-Wolfenstein, and then Indiana Jones. So
I'll watch part of it.
If you skip those middle episodes, you'll be good, Preston.
This came out, I'm assuming, at the beginning of the PS4's life cycle because this is a PS3, PS4 game, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC.
I didn't know there was a 360 version of this game.
Now we've got PS3.
I kind of want to, and PS3. I kind of want to just own that, just to own it. I don't even know if it's probably the worst version of those games, but still,
I would say so.
This is the 6th Wolfenstein game, and fun little fact I didn't know playing through it, but now I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Composed by one of our favorites, Mick Gordon, who you will know from the Doom 2016. Yeah, and every once in a while you hear the guitar riffs. I'm like, yep, that's a Mick Gordon guitar riff right there. I know that one. So yeah, we'll get right into the story. We play as B.J. Blazkowicz, who is having a little dream, having the typical 1940s, 1950s American life dream. And we wake up in an Army cargo plane. It is 1946. And we are over the Baltic Sea near the German coast with dozens, if not more, other ships in the air. And immediately get into the shit. You wake up, you're given a moment to say hi to Fergus, essentially, for a second, and then bullets just start coming in, ships start going down. You end up repairing a fuel line and eject the cargo as a kind of small part of your tutorial about, hey, this is how you walk around, this is how you crouch, this is how you press an action button. And then after you get through that little tutorial, our pilot Fergus says that all this is coming from Death's Head's compound. So Death's Head, as we'll find out later in the game, is kind of our main antagonist, it looks like, outside of Hitler himself. But we end up getting into the turret of that plane. It's a cool older style plane with like the turret in front that you kind of go under the cockpit for. And we just start taking out enemy ships. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of research on this part, but I assumed that all the enemy ships were the ones with the red tails or the red trails going behind them. I think you can accidentally shoot down friendly ships as well, so I tried my best not to. I don't know if anyone here accidentally shot down a whole bunch of ships and anything happened with that, but I didn't notice anything as far as if I did hit any of those ships.
I didn't shoot down any of the... my ships, I don't believe. I thought it was fairly easy to tell because all of their ships looked a little futuristic.
Yeah, and had that like bright red trail going behind them. So I'm like, okay, I'll find the red trail. I'll start shooting at that. And I don't think I shot anyone else down.
I don't know that you can. I don't remember. I don't think that you can, though.
The bullets look... sometimes you like get near a big one or something like that. You see the bullets hit off of it, but I don't know. No one was like, hey, friendly fire. No one said anything like that, so
I'm
not sure. As we're taking out a bunch of ships, one of them ends up hitting us, and we go black. We start slowly waking up. Fergus brings us back, and we get an interaction with one of the other ships out there as well that's having problems. So it looks like Fergus is like resuscitating us. And then as we get back up, we notice that, when the ships are getting a little too close, and Fergus is like, hey, you need to like back up and give me some space. We're like, nah, man, plane's fucked. We are moving where we're moving, and you need to give us some space. So he backs up a little bit. Something happens in that ship. Apparently it takes out the pilot. So you hear the people in that ship kind of going crazy. And Fergus kind of walks them through to level it out. And Fergus decides that we are going to jump on that ship. Fergus jumps over. As we're about to jump out, a plane hits the plane and is stuck inside of it. And then we have to do the long jump out. Now this one took me a couple tries. For some reason, I just couldn't get the run going proper. So it was like, jump as hard as you can. I'm like, I am jumping as hard as I can. I'm running as hard as I can. But I just keep sliding off the fucking plane wing. A couple tries, I finally get it. And then Fergus ends up taking over for the dead pilot. But we end up going down anyways. So in here, we're in the water. Blazkowicz has a lot of nice, I feel, narration occasionally. Like a lot of times when he's knocked out, I think this is going to be one of those games, Alex, we can just start a counter for how many times Blazkowicz gets a fucking concussion. Because there's already like 2 or 3 here so far. But while we're in the water and BJ's getting a little bit of narration, we get thrown out of the water by a robo-dog. What Fergus calls a armored hellbeast. So that throws us out of there. We kind of hide into some of the wreckage of all these planes. We get talking to Fergus. He's on another plane over there, but can't get out because the Helldog is just stalking his ship. So we end up sneaking towards a turret nearby, occasionally getting jump scared by one of the Death Hounds. And we end up getting into that turret and taking a bunch of them out. Meet up with Fergus and the troops. And from here, we storm the beaches and take out a bunch of machine gun nests where we get to see a lot of the designs for like this game's Nazi war machine. So things like the dogs, the turrets, and Tesla walkers, they're all very chunky and crude. So it seems like a lot of just like big giant pieces of metal stacked on them, like especially with like the dogs. It's just like square piece of metal, make a head kind of thing looking happening. And a giant Tesla walker. This thing is just got a big Tesla towers on it. It's probably 10 to 12 floors high, if I had to guess. Just kind of walking around. So a lot of cool environmental stuff happening here. But it's definitely one of those, World War, we're storming the beaches kind of deal, just with this new Nazi aesthetic. So as we're going through the compound, we are getting into our meat and potatoes of the gameplay. So here, this is where we kind of get our first dual-wield weapon. So a lot of the pistols, assault rifles, shotguns. You can a lot of times find a second one for it and just press up on the D-pad. You can whip both of them out. You can reload both of them at the same time. But this was a nice thing to if you just want more ammo with the assault rifle before you have to reload, but you can't zoom in on them. So if you're liking to zoom in, you got to go back to the first one. I love the feeling when you get something like 2 giant assault rifles and BJ is just one-handing them each and you're just mowing down in the middle of a hallway. That shit feels good. That's what I've been waiting for like all year. When I first bought this collection, it's like, man, I just want a boomer shooter with big-ass guns, dual wield, and just go fucking into town on this game. And it feels even better when you're doing it to Nazis. Dual wielding, disabling signals from officers. So you'll get into certain sections and a little kind of wave file will pop up in the right top screen part of your screen. And this is for the officers that are in the area. So if you got 2 officers, you'll have 2 of those. But you want to take them out because if you don't take them out and you're making a ruckus, you'll see that it'll get red and they'll start continuously calling in reinforcements. So you want to find them in some other areas later on in the game. Maybe sneaking to find them is a little bit better before they start calling everybody. But that is just kind of the usual gameplay that we will follow through with the rest of this game. So you go in, defeat a bunch of Nazis, try to take out the officers, and you have big-ass guns in your hands while you do so. So after going through this, kind of going our way through the compound as well, we meet up with the troops again. And Wyatt saves us. Wyatt saves us from a big robo-dog. So we're getting down to this last area of the trench. Door opens up and we get this big-ass robo-dog on top of us trying to fight us. Wyatt calls it away, throws a little grenade, says, "Go fetch," blows up the dog. Very stupid robo dog. So Wyatt saves us, pulls us up. We meet up with Fergus and the rest of the troops and go over the mission, which is to take out Death's Head. I have a little note on here, and that this is like where I kind of especially notice the music. It starts to feel more like an action movie, kind of like a Guy Ritchie. Kind of get a little bit of like the guitar strumming. Maybe it goes into a little bit of like split screen with a couple different people. I'm loving when it hits those styles. It doesn't do it throughout the entire game, but when you get some of these cutscenes and you get a little bit of guitar riffs, it just feels like you're watching a movie at that point, like an action movie.
I honestly think I think you nail the comparison. There's definitely some scenes, and I know I'm the only one who played it, but even in the second one as well, they definitely, I think, are hitting on a Guy Ritchie kind of style.
Like I'm waiting for the whole bum bum bum, the dun, 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 dun. Like I'm waiting for that cue to go in, but it's all Mick Ward, so he's not going to do that. But yeah, we goes over that. We're going after Death's Head. We shoot and climb up a wall, making our way up the compound, and then we notice this giant carrier as we're going up the wall ends up hitting it. We get up, we go into a room, and essentially Fergus like, "Hey, we need you to go up there. You need to take out some Nazis, take out some some turrets and things of that nature." So as we are shooting and climbing up a wall, Fergus ends up calling us to help him out in the courtyard, which is this giant area right where that carrier kind of crashed into. This is where we kind of, I think this is the first time we get into the actual like turrets to where you can like do the whole Halo thing of like pop them off if you want to, but you can leave them on there, continuous ammo, and you're just mowing down Nazis as you go. Nice thing about some of these Nazis is they have those like little Tesla things in the back, so all you gotta do sometimes is just find those little blue glowy spots and just kind of hose them. So as we're going up, we, like I said, meet up with Ferguson near that crashed carrier, and then we end up falling into the building. So as we fall in, we get this really grotesque kind of room where we see a bunch of bodies just kind of strung up, opened up. Everybody's kind of freaking the fuck out on it. And as everyone's freaking out...
They're kind of like almost hog-tied. But if the hog
hog-tied, but pulled up and kind of held up.
Pulling it back. So yeah, they're like their knees are on the ground, but their chest and head is off the ground, but they're cut open from the back.
Yeah, its spine is all like kind of splayed open as far as like the skin off of it. So really fucked up kind of room. I put it down as an experimental/torture room, which we also find out it's an incinerator. So as everybody's going crazy, I think it was Wyatt who accidentally hits a button somewhere and just starts the incinerator up. So from here. We run around, try to find a key. We open the door. And once we get into the other room, we're kind of stuck in there. There's these little tubes on the ground, like in the ground. And a big-ass robot pops out of one of those, out of the container. Grabs one of the guys by the head, kind of kills them. We end up... This one's more a punch guy. So he's not like shooting at us or anything like that. We just need to kind of nail some of the parts in the back. And then when he kind of overheats, his face gets exposed. And then you just lay into the face, take it out. As we take out that guy, the robot, outside the door, a little window pops up, and we see Death's Head. Very creepy motherfucker. If you went to the menu, you would have seen his face earlier, and I think Fergus did have a photo of him as well. But something kind of all jacked up with his like mouth area. He's kind of got a little bit of a Joker thing going on. Very smiley, kind of has like no lips whatsoever, I think. But yeah, very unsettling, especially when he's looking at you through that little window and he's smiling at you. As he is watching us, he starts these wall crushers in the room. And right as we start to black out, right before a full crush, we wake back up and we're captured. So as everyone is handcuffed on the ground, Death's Head walks around, says he recognizes us. He says he's seen us before, very resilient, would be a decent specimen. He goes over to the other troops.
There's a way that he says that too, which is just like the way that he has like this kind of I don't even know how to describe it.
Kind of deal. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. God, and you're just like, it's just they do such a good job in this game of really just being like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, that's a real bad person. Just looking at him and he starts speaking like, "Yep," it just kind of keeps on building up. I hate this. I hate this a lot. Obviously, we're going to say that, I mean, at this point, you can assume that this is his torture experimental chamber. He's a really fucked up mad scientist kind of guy. And I'm assuming, especially as we go through the other ones, I'm assuming those big robots have a human inside there, maybe not fully there anymore. I mean, obviously cut open, just put in there to kind of take care of shit. And then, so yeah, he tells us about how we're going to specimen, and he has us decide on which one of the two soldiers we are to kill. Now, I think there's a definite answer to this. I figured you guys would choose this answer, so I chose the other one. So there, they have us either pick between Wyatt, who is like this, very green behind the ears, blue-eyed, very new army soldier kid, or Fergus, the guy we've been in the plane with the entire time. Now, I wanted to choose Fergus, but I'm like, the guys are going to choose him. I know that it kind of doesn't really change up the story, but it does change some things going forward in this game. And I hear that the save will be ticked from the second game to kind of see who you saved as well, which is a nice little addition. So my question to you guys, he says, which one of those does he want to dissect in front of you? Who did you choose?
I at first chose no one because I was like, I'm not going to choose. Like, you're not going to make me. And it's like, look at which one you want me to kill. And I just didn't move the controller. I just looked at him.
Yeah.
Right? And it was almost like the defiance thing.
Sure.
And if you do it long enough, he'll yell and yell and yell. And the music will get higher pitched until it's just like a high squeal. And if you still don't pick, those robot guys holding each one of them down will crush both of their heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he said he's going to kill both of them. I'm like, he's a psychopath. There's no way he's bluffing me. Like, he's going to kill both of these guys.
And then it just reloads.
I didn't know that. I never.
Yep.
And I never actually did that. Yeah.
Like, so now which one do you want to pick? Like, you're going to have to pick. So I chose Fergus and chose to save the younger Wyatt.
Okay. So you chose the same thing I did.
Yep. So I chose Fergus. Yeah.
Oh, really? So we all chose the same one, even though I chose this because
Wait, did you think you thought we would choose to save the older guy?
Yeah, because he's Fergus. He's the guy that you probably have more of a connection to.
Because he's Fergus.
He's got the Scottish accent. He's less annoying than Wyatt. I figured you guys were like, oh, it's definitely Fergus. He's a cool guy.
You don't know us at all.
Apparently not. But I chose Wyatt as well. The way I saw it is that Fergus was the veteran, right? He's like war, and he says it like when you choose him. He's like, hey, war's fucked up. It was going to happen to some of us sooner or later. But I felt like, okay, well, Wyatt's still new and green behind the ears. Like, yeah, it's really fucked up to choose him, the kid, out of the both of them. Like, so that's why I chose Wyatt. So,
but you said you thought
I did
definitely would choose the kid who would be really effed up if we chose the kid.
Well, to be fair, he's not a child. He is a soldier, a very much an adult. And I just thought you guys would have been like, well, Fergus is the cooler of these two.
I'm a little offended.
Don't be offended. I just thought that you guys would choose him because I thought he was a cooler character. That's the only reason why I thought you guys would choose him.
So what's crazy? So this does actually. The thing is that this choice that we've made actually does carry over to the second game.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I figured it would because you get the big. It goes like boom, and then it changes like everything from the save and everything to say like Wyatt's timeline, just straight up.
Yep. So there's a couple things that change. So, for example, when we're about to leave here. Because obviously you choose one of them. The one that we don't choose is still alive. He tries to distract one of the big robo guys because Death Head is left already. And we end up killing that guy, stopping the incinerator from going off, and we have to leave the room, right? As you leave the room, depending on who you choose, depending on what type of lock you have there. So since we chose to save Wyatt, we will have lock picks for a lot of these doors now. If we chose Fergus, there would have been like more of a hot wire, kind of like electronic door lock to that window. And then that also opens up a couple of different paths for certain levels. Nothing too crazy as far as the story, except for one person we meet later. And I think by choosing Wyatt, we made the better choice of who we get in the HQ. And I don't know if you guys recognize who it was, but we'll get there when we get there. Not only just that, but it also denotes what kind of collectibles you'll get, unique collectibles. So one of them you'll get, increased base armor, and the other one you'll get increased base health. I think that's the health one. So you'll get more armor. Increased health upgrades as you go through. It's the armor one?
No, we get armor. Because I think I found 4 of them, and it's increased armor on all of them.
I got you. Yeah, it's either one or the other. So you get more upgrades doing one or the other. Yeah, and that's kind of the main differences outside of some small characters changes here and there, but the same story itself, it evolves the same way. All right, moving on. So like I mentioned, we are opening up a window to escape. As we open that window to escape, a giant explosion happens and pushes everyone out the window. And as you see, BJ gets a giant piece of shrapnel in the back of the head, again, knocking him out. And we see him floating away unconscious on a piece of wood. And this is where we get the opening title card.
To be fair, this is one that they actually handle like a real person would work if they got hit in the back of the head by the shrapnel and fell out, right? Like what comes next? Mm-hmm. It's not one of those like Lara Croft, you hit the ground, you're like, anyway, let's keep going.
My neck's a little sore. Yeah.
This has consequences.
This has repercussions for what just happened to you. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. After the title card goes away, we are found in the water. We don't see who it is, but I'll kind of go over it just from here. But by a family that is running a hospital/asylum in Poland, where we are essentially a vegetable. We can kind of see everything going on, but we can't interact. We can't do anything like that. While we are vegging out, the Nazis end up showing up and start taking away some of the patients for death. I keep on messing up his name. It's Death's Heads experiments. It's a hospital, like I said, in Poland. Anya is our nurse, and obviously the mother and father are the parents running the place as well. So after that first time, we see that the Nazis coming by picking up patients, and then the last time they show up, again they just end up telling them, "Yep, you've done your service. You're no longer needed," and they just start killing people. The Nazis just start shooting everyone. Anya tries to stop them. She gets knocked out and then dragged off. One of the Nazis ends up coming up to us, still at this point in the vegetative state. One point I want to make is that I do like how you're kind of seeing this in a very gray film grain, and every time a Nazi ends up shooting somebody, he gets a little bit of color back. So like his hatred for Nazis is growing a little bit and just kind of bringing him out of this vegetative state. So once we get that Nazi approaching us, that's when we fully come out of it. And we just take out that Nazi, and then now we are going to go through the house trying to get Anna and rescue her. So we kill a Nazi, we're off to rescue Anna, kill a bunch more Nazis throughout this entire house, which is like boarded up. They got like door stoppers and everything in there.
I mean, it's pretty given that throughout this whole playthrough is going to be killing a bunch of Nazis.
Yep, and they give you plenty of reasons to be 1,000% okay with it. Because as you're going through here, you're seeing dead patients, people, just blood everywhere. And Nazis. You know that they knocked out Anya and are taking her. They're not just going to kill her, they're going to take her. So you're like, fuck that, we're going to go get her. So yeah, we go through all throughout that house, get the front door opened up. As we see her and the Nazis out there next to the car, you take out all those Nazis. I will like to mention that you do pick up a gun, which kind of spoils what year this is. We will talk about what year it is later because she goes over it with the kind of like, telling BJ. But we'll get there when we get there. We get out of the house, fight more Nazis, now with drones. End up grabbing Anya and take the car, and we drive around the Polish mountainside. As we are driving around, there is a Nazi that's shooting at us. We kind of hit him with our car. He gets in the car. We kind of have a tussle. Luckily, Anya wakes up at this time, takes over the wheel. And we kill the Nazi, toss him out of the car. They introduce themselves to each other because it's the first time they've been able to talk to each other. And we end up making it out to, I guess, just some old couple's home. I'm assuming Anya might.
It's her grandparents.
Is her grandparents? Okay. Did
I think it's her
that?
No, that's what I got from it. It's her grandparents. I could have sworn they said something about. Maybe? I could have sworn they said something about their kids at one point, meaning like Anya's mom or dad.
Yeah, that place,
but I'm pretty sure it's her grandparents. Yeah.
Gotcha. So we pull up there, and as we get out of the car, we notice some rumbling in the trunk. Find out that the Nazis had one of their own in their trunk. I'm not sure if it was from the parents or if it was from the Nazis putting someone else in there, but essentially they have a Nazi just hanging out in the trunk, all tied up. And I like the kind of dialogue that he had here, which was like, I let them put out their grievances. So you see like the old lady just kind of slapping the Nazi around, and the other older man just kind of yelling at him. And he's like, but I can't. He's like, if I let it come out, he's like, it would be a flood. So he's like, I let them, put it in their grievance. So we're inside having dinner with the family at this point. Anya here tells us we've been out for 14 years. It is 1960. So we've been a vegetable for 14 years after that shrapnel hits in the back of the head. She tells us the war is over. And the Nazis, well, this is the old lady. The war's over, the Nazis rule the world. He asked what happened to the USA, or America, and she said they surrendered. The Nazis dropped an atom bomb on America, and that caused them to surrender. And BJ is just now set on fighting whatever type of resistance is out there.
Rip and Tear starts playing.
Yeah, no shit. Old lady says they're all gone. Captured by the Nazis. Captured or killed by the Nazis. Like, there's no more resistance out there. There's no one out there to help anyone. So, BJ gets up, walks into the basement. Now, I see this nice little touch the old lady puts on a record. I thought, BJ's going to get mad. He's going to be, very mad, angry, strong man. He's going to punch some walls, because all this fucking shit just being unloaded on him. But no, the Nazi is tied up in the basement. So we go down there. She puts on the music. And we pretty much tell him that he's going to tell us everything he knows about the resistance, any type of resistance that is out there and where they're at. He, of course, says, he doesn't know anything. He starts talking shit in German to us. So BJ goes over to the workstation, sees a nice chunky chainsaw over there, grabs the goggles and everything, and we start essentially torturing / threatening him that, he is going to tell us everything he knows. So we bust out that chainsaw. We get the information out of him. He ends up telling us that the Eisenwald prison in Berlin is where resistance people would be, but there's no fucking way that he's getting it. Cut to BJ getting real close with that chainsaw and cutting to black. So we all know what BJ did, and good for him. At this point, next,
just add another one to the body count.
Add another little tick to the number there. We end up planning a prison break with the old couple as they are coming along to help. So we get into their car. They have like a little, like kind of hidden compartment underneath the trunk. That's where Anya and ourselves, BJ, go in to hide, and that's where they try to get us as far as possible, right? So we make it pretty far. We hear a dog kind of sniffing and barking outside, so this is kind of where we're going to get caught. Trunk opens up. It's the Nazi soldier, and old man is right there with the fucking shotgun and just clean up, takes off that dude's head. And he's like, damn, he got him. And he's like, you need to go take care of these Nazis up front if we're going to go get anywhere further. It's like, you kill Nazi, we will stay here. So this is kind of the first time you get, we got a little bit of this in like the trenches, but this is more of a, you probably should be more sneaky. So it's a big like open area checkpoint. You got a couple buildings here and there. Obviously, the officers are going to be in those buildings. So if you just start shooting wild, both those officers know they're just going to continuously call in some guys. On the very top of the first building, you can get a really nice marksman rifle. It does some pretty heavy damage, and it's got a nice little zoom to it. At first, I started to go in a little bit guns blazing, or I got the right marksman rifle and start taking people out, and then it's just nonstop, died. Came back in, I'm like, okay, we're going to be this little Preston's going to do some stealth here. So we're doing a little bit of stealth, kind of finding our way around, take an officer here, take an officer there. Once I get that second officer down, I'm like, okay, now everyone can die. And then we start going through, we got more drones, we got more just normal soldiers are lying around. And this is where we find a lot more of our collectibles. Again, I'm sure we found some of those in the trenches, but this is kind of like the bigger section where we'll still get most of these collectibles. So there is and I'm sorry, but I forget the name of it, but it's like a code or a piece of paper with like a lot of codexes.
It's an Enigma code.
Enigma code, thank you. You'll start finding parts of those Enigma codes as you go through, and a lot of newspaper clippings, some like a small like written out stuff. And there's a lot of that throughout the game, which I thought was pretty impressive as far as how much they put into there to help build this world of what's going on here in different areas and different locations. So yeah, we go through, clear out the Nazis on this checkpoint, find out that there is a roadblock, because we go back to the car drives a little bit, he tells us we need to get a roadblock. As he tells us we need to get a roadblock, we see the door open up with a Nazi, and Grandma has a rifle outside the car and just straight up cleans that dude. And even BJ's like, damn, Grandma still has it. And we go in there, clear out a whole bunch more Nazis. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything, because I'm kind of just going off the top of my head right now. So prison break, get back to the car, kill more Nazis, raise a roadblock, take out another checkpoint area. And as we are trying to leave checkpoint 2, we're on the back of the car and notice that this big giant vehicle opens up and 2 big old robots end up popping out of them. We jump off the car real quick because it's just going to take out the car. And then we take these robots down. Now, I didn't have too much trouble with them. Obviously, the first thing came to mind is, okay, well, we got robots, so we got those Tesla grenades earlier. Let's just throw the Tesla grenades. They get stunned. You just kind of unload into the back of them. They go down really easy. You can't shoot them from the front. You just got to do a whole lot more to take down the armor. But if you throw a Tesla grenade, go behind them, they're fine.
You could also just walk to the left where the turret is up top, rip it off the top, and then just mow them down.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the turret there. Yeah, I just jumped off the car and then just start tossing grenades. So yeah, we take out those two and we get back into the trunk and continue on further. Now we are on the train to Berlin. BJ is over there getting coffee, beating on the machine so it's not working properly. As we go to take coffee back to the room, a crazy Nazi lady with her boy toy tries to fuck with us. She sits us down, tries to give us some like pure-blooded Aryan test. In the end, she just tells us she's fucking with us, throws the photos behind.
Did you pass that first? Like, did you choose
think
the right
I
things?
did. I fucking don't know. I chose a couple things, and she like grabbed my hand at first. She's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I'll just pick the other one then. Fine."
I forget. There's three you could choose. The first one is a photo of a blue eye, like somebody with blue eyes, and then
teeth,
the other
like
one,
a smile.
Yeah. So what did you choose there?
I chose the blue eye because I figured that's what she wanted me to choose.
Right. Yeah. Blonde hair, blue eye sort of thing. The second one was was that the butterfly?
A butterfly and something else. I think I chose the other one. And then the third one was like a spider and something else.
That's what it was. Yeah, the spider and the skull. There was a skull and a spider.
Yeah.
Which did you choose there?
I chose the skull at first.
Okay, so that was right. So the butterfly, I think, it was a butterfly and the flower. That's what it was, a white flower and a black butterfly. Mm-hmm. The black butterfly is wrong, right? Because it's white and black, right? White flower. Mm. And then the last one, the skull, is like a symbol of power.
White flower.
To them, where the spider is not. And I somehow got all of that right. I Googled it afterwards to see, like... I Googled it to see, like, can you get it wrong?
Right.
And
somehow.
No. I mean, I did the process. I did the process of what you thought. I was like, oh, blonde hair, blue eye. And then I was the next one. I looked at it for a minute. I was like, the only thing I could think is a white flower and a black. And like that's the thing, but that's what they're going for, and that's what it was. The one I wasn't sure of was the skull, but I picked the skull because I just thought of, like, I don't know, just general imagery versus the spider. I was like, I don't know what a spider would have to do with anything. Killings. Yeah, I thought, like, the skulls and the death and that sort of thing, and that was right. So,
yeah. She's just fucking with us. So she ends up throwing the cards. I was messing with you, and she's like, "Oh, forgive my lady," her little fancy boy toy over there, and just lets us leave at that point. So
I just know that dude's name is like Klaus or something.
Fabian or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I just the reason I wondered if you guys failed, because, like I said, if you don't choose, right, those robots killed those two soldiers, and the game's like, no, you have to choose. I just wondered if they had like a little like Easter egg sort of thing of like, if you get it wrong, she shoots you.
Sure.
No. I thought I chose one wrong because she grabbed me real quick, so I'm like, okay, well.
No, she did that to me too. Yeah. Because she grabs you and she goes, choose carefully, and I think that's just the game's way of saying, like, really try and think through what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just wondered if you could choose wrong, if it would end poorly for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, moving on, she lets us go. We'll go ahead and take our coffee with us. And then we go back to the room where Anya is waiting for us. We get in there. She's like, "Oh, nice, thank you. You brought me coffee." And she kind of looks like shyly at you. She's like, "There's just one bed in here." He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You okay with sharing?" He's like, "Yes." And then we get some sexy time. So, we get her coffee.
I played this on an airplane, by the way.
Oh, did you? Well, luckily it wasn't too hardcore for you. I just got a little side boob there and a little up and down. So
I did not know how graphic this game was going to be, and I played this on an airplane.
Oh no, yeah, this game. I mean, outside of just that little sexy time, there's a lot of gore and ripping.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot. Not the best public scenario, but that's okay. Cut to a Berlin hotel near the prison. A transport ends up arriving. Anya says we should need to sneak our way to get on top so we can just take it straight to the prison. So we do a little sneaking on the rooftops. This is kind of more of like just a vibes check kind of deal. as far as like we're up there, they got some prisoners they putting into the truck, climb along the rooftops, jump on top, and then that vehicle takes us to the prison. Now at the prison, we have a laser cutter to remove some thin fences. And here we make our way through the prison with very little. I put down here, this is where I start to die a lot.
Because you can't stealth. This makes way more sense now, because I have, other than a couple of places where I purposely ran through to get the skill, like kill people with dual weapons to get the skill point, sure, I stealthed this entire game.
Really?
Jeez. So yeah, so like now I understand why you had trouble in this. Okay. Okay.
Christian, you guys say something?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so I did look it up. So it looks like no matter what, they will funnel you towards like in that train scene. Yeah. However, there is that option in the third one, obviously, where you can go for the gun that's in the background.
That was an option. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so no matter what, no matter when you go for the gun, whatever answers you do, every single time you go for the gun, they'll kill you before you get to go for the gun.
I figured that.
Yeah,
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, died a lot here, but I would like to say at this spot that there's a lot of sneaking, but the enemies don't have a lot of guns at this point, right? So most of the guys are very secluded. They have like some batons or whatever they're going to try to hit you with. So you don't really get too fucked if someone sees you for a quick second.
So I'm happy that we're finally here at this part of this playthrough. I was not going to say, when you told me that you had never played any of these games and I realized that I was the only one who had played through them, I was like, well, okay, well, cool, let me shut up then. But I was like, man, it's so funny because I was waiting to see. I was like, I wonder how Preston's going to play I mean, I knew, but I was I wonder what's going to happen. Because this one and in the second, I don't know.
This is forced stealth. Like there's no option to go full hand.
But they have, yes, and there's multiple sections in each game where they're like, yeah. And so I was like, oh man, I know when Preston there's one specific section I'm thinking of in the next game, but there's going to be a point where like the lights go out, it's dark, and you're like, all right, and then BJ's got to go from point A to point B, and I just know Preston's going to be like, well, it's time to let everybody in this area know I'm here.
Early on in this playthrough, I found a silencer for one of the pistols.
Yeah, same.
And once I found the silencer and I figured out how to throw throwing knives, I was like, BJ calls himself, he's like, I'm an Army Ranger. I was like, well, everyone's gonna die. No one's gonna see it coming. And that's how I've rolled this whole other than sections that force you to like go with gun. It's everybody die silently.
Yeah,
that's why when Preston was like, I'm sitting at like hour 5 right now. Where you guys at? Blah blah.
I know exactly where Preston's at.
I was like, I'm all good. Here.
I'll be all right.
Mine did not take that long either. I was kind of shocked because that's why I asked at one point. I was like, do we keep playing? Because like on the airplane, I got to like chapter 5, and I was like, maybe this is. Just
and I honestly I meant to text Alex on the side because I knew he was getting ready for that trip, but then he was like, guys, how long do I have to set aside for this? Really? Like I remember, and I was like, oh, he's getting nervous about this.
But it's not super bad. It wasn't be something that I'd be like, I hate this part of the game. It was fine. I just had to be more slow about things, be a little more mindful. That's fine. I just didn't get to do what I wanted to do. It's okay.
I don't even really think you have to be that slow. Just crouch once in a while.
Well, Preston has to be slow because he has to be mindful of things around me. So we are looking for the resistance fighters that should be in cell block B2. And like I said, here we have us sneaking with enemies with no guns. We end up finding the prisoners. We go in there. They're all kind of chained up to the walls with a whole bunch of... I don't think there's a bag on their head or like an iron mask type of...
It's like an iron mask or something, I think. Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio going on? Yeah. All right, so one of them will be the person we chose to save at Death's Head compound. For us, it'll all be a Wyatt. So now we start to shoot our way out. So the soldiers start coming up to the door. We sneak up through like a little vent, get behind them. I am a fucking idiot and missed the auto shotgun that was in the officer's office here or whatever you drop into. Because I found it later on. I'm like, man, this is a great gun. And I was watching the playthrough. I'm like, oh, you get it here? It would have been perfect for this hallway full of fucking soldiers. So what did I do? I ran out there with my fucking knife that I have, stabbed the first one, grabbed his pistol, and then I start going to town on everyone else.
Oh my
I play this
god.
game differently.
Fucking Master
In that
Chief
control,
over here. Holy
in that
shit.
control room, there's like 4 guns you can
I
pick
know.
up on the way.
I fucking killed the guy,
Okay.
pulled the fucking door opener, and then just went outside. I did not notice all the guns that were inside there.
All Preston's version of BJ hears is the fucking Halo battle theme. He's just running through.
That's what I want to do. All right, so now we get all those guys out of there that are kind of crowding that B2 block, and we start to shoot our way out with the other guy following us. He also, go on, buddy. He also ends up releasing all of the prisoners. It's a good distraction. And then ends up helping us kind of open up doors as we walk through here. So we run away from that one big robo-dog, right? He says, I'll give you time. You run through the hallway. He's got this giant, door jack, if you will. He's like, I'm going to open up this door, cover my back. So I'm like watching behind. I'm like, I don't see I'm just waiting for something to happen. Fucking Nazi kills me underneath the door. Okay. Try number 1.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting waiting for the motherfucker at this point.
Try number 1.
So just waiting for the guy at this point. And I get him just fine. But each individual attempt after that, I am constantly running out of ammo. I did not pick up enough, I'm assuming, beforehand, and I'm not getting enough in this small level section right here.
Because you walked through the room with all the guns and ammo.
That now, thank you. So I'm struggling. I even watched the guys play through. I'm like, how the fuck are you? And that's when I realized he's on easy. I'm like, fuck this guy. So
I was not on easy.
His hour and a half in, my 3.5 hours in, I am just trying over and over going just perfect. I'm doing a perfect run of this small little section right here. So it's okay, we're going for headshots. We're going to be hunkering down underneath walls. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. Dude comes in with fucking shotgun and all that armor. Fuck. So I didn't have enough ammo to kill him. So now,
Your Preston scares I hear no bail.
Yeah. Well, the bells happened multiple times for me in this small section. So to make a long story short, played this section a bunch of times. Kind of got the perfect pathing of go up to this section where there's a bunch of armor and more ammo. Go over to this section where there's a whole bunch of more guys and ammo. Take out that dude with as least amount of bullets as possible because you're going to have another one of those guys over here on the other side. I probably spent, I don't know how long. I don't want to say how long. If I do know, it's too long I spent in this section. But either way, this is where I dropped difficulty down.
Why didn't you just restart the level? It probably would have been faster.
Because I didn't know that all the ammo was back there. I just thought I was fucking sucking at the game and this was getting too difficult. So
I will say I have never in my life between anybody that I've ever know someone who puts a self-imposed hard mode on a bunch of games that they play. There was this. I was just
Claire
laughing
Obscure,
with Travis.
He wasn't.
Yeah,
using
Claire
the
Obscure. He was
Pictos.
not using
Jesus
any
Christ.
skills. He was just soul level 1
That
Dark
was
Souls
bad.
run. He's
Yeah.
man, this is getting fucking tough. Then there was I remember it was 14. I was just telling Travis about this the other day. I re-laughed about this so hard, where Preston was playing through and he's like, dude, every single monster I go against, I get in, everything's fucking killing me. I don't get it, blah, blah, blah. So I have Preston pull up the screen. I'm like, you must have something going. I don't know. All of his equipment was broken. Every single piece of equipment. And he had to go, he just was like, I didn't even know I had to repair it. I was like, I can't believe you made it all the way here without having to. He's like, well, they keep giving me new gear, so anytime it was getting close, I must have just swapped in new stuff. And I was like, holy fuck.
It's just, things happen, okay? I don't look at a playthrough before I play the game. I want to kind of experience it fresh, and especially since I've never played this game. I don't want to watch someone play it and then play it myself. I want to experience it all for myself. That sometimes stacks on.
To be very clear, Alex did not do that either.
There's
me.
gotta be a point after an hour where you're like, I feel like I'm missing something.
I didn't spend
I need
an
to
hour
go. I
in this
feel like
section.
I'm missing.
I would probably, if I had a ballpark, I would probably say a half an hour, which is still too long for a 5-minute section. But still. Either way, let's just move on. So, I killed the guys in this area. Wonderful. Super stoked about it. Got a bunch of ammo now. awesome. We end up finding a car down this little area. Wyatt hot wires it, and we drive it through part of the building and crash it out of the window, where we see Anya outside hanging out. But, excuse me, there are a bunch of troops out on the other side of the street. Luckily for us, nice little exit tunnel right below where the car crashed. So we go right down to there, into the sewer tunnels, and Anya pulls us back out. So from here, we now steal a cop car. It takes a little while. Soldiers start to notice. And we just start getting fired upon. So we're driving the cop car around a little. We don't drive the cop car. The cut scene is Wyatt driving the cop car around because he kind of knows the area a little bit. It's part of the resistance. And there's cameras everywhere. Nazis know where we're at. We're getting shot at from like every other street. They find a blind spot, which is kind of near this, like, not a waterfall, but like water fountain, which is a blind spot in like the kind of like surveillance camera area where we ditch the car. Kind of, ghost it, put a little brick on it to kind of keep it driving. And we all jump into the water and swim to the Resistance HQ entrance. When we get to HQ, we are greeted by a big guy missing part of their skull. That's Max. And BJ sees another guy with a Nazi tattoo and just straight up tackles him. He sees that symbol and he just wants to fucking kill. So he jumps on that guy. Wyatt's like, hey, he used to be a Nazi. He's fresh behind the ears and he's a turncoat. He's helping us out with the resistance. We get up. Another lady rolls up in a chair and recognizes BJ. I find out her name is Caroline. She talks with Anya and going over like kind of what they're doing there at the base. But yeah, BJ and Caroline have known each other for a while, I guess. They kind of trade how fucked up the past 14 years have been for both of them. Sounds like it sucks for both. They hug it out a little bit, continue on, as soldiers do. So she's kind of filling Anya on like the whole readout system. She apparently is like one of the very few people who can still type nowadays. So she has her working on a bunch of stuff with her and her research. Caroline has us go look for the folder for Project Whisper, which she's given to Klaus. We go to Klaus. He says he doesn't have it, but also gives us a little background about why he still has a tattoo. He has a nice little thing where he says, he's like, once we get rid of the Nazis, I'll be getting rid of that tattoo. And that's where you also kind of meet Max a little bit as well. Max gets super upset when you mention the Project Whisper. That's because apparently he has overheard what that project entails and is not very happy about it. This kind of goes a little back and forth. You go to Klaus, you go to Anya. Anya says, it's not in the drawer, so you got to look around and find it. He says, it's going to be stuck in, we find out it's in Max's room. We have to go get a tool upstairs to go find that. It kind of just lets you, this whole missions are to have you explore HQ, right? So there's a bunch of like...
I literally was trying to find the collectibles in this place. So I talked to those two, walked in the next room and said, oh, I think what I need is behind this wall. I need something to open it with. So I was like, okay, let me go. So I went to the next room, went right upstairs to the next room, found the crowbar, and then came downstairs and opened it. It was like 3 seconds. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Klaus, then I went back to Anya, then I went back upstairs, and he's like, I don't fucking know. So I'm just like looking around I finally found out Klaus's room and need to get the crowbar. So there's a little Easter egg in here. I don't know if any of you guys got it. I missed it. I saw it in the playthrough I was watching. There is a mattress somewhere in this location to where you can go to bed. If you go to bed, it takes you into...
It's upstairs. It's all the way in the top of the attic.
Yep. It takes you into the a level of old school Wolfenstein.
There are 2 people on this call that did not miss this.
Okay, well, I'm the only person who missed it. I knew it was somewhere. I saw someone playing it, but I didn't notice it. And I was just looking through. I didn't think to check the mattress. But I was looking at a lot of because there's a whole... This area has probably the most of like newspaper articles, things to read to kind of like catch you up on what's going on in the world. I also like to mention, depends on who you save, depends on which extra character you'll get in the HQ. So if you save Fergus, you get this kind of like crazy erratic lady. She's very eccentric. If you save Wyatt, there's this gentleman named Hendrix in there that he has all these guitars and all these amps, and this is, I guess, supposed to be Jimi Hendrix within the Resistance. But yeah, that's Wyatt brings him back like a little megaphone or whatever. He's just constantly jamming out. So
Do you get anything for that Wolfenstein level? I ended up dying, so I didn't finish it, and I didn't feel like going back to sleep to try and do it again. So
I saw them beat it. I think they may have gotten an achievement, but other than that,
there's an achievement for going through all of them. It's similar, Alex, if you remember, in Doom 2016, they also did a similar. Yeah. I shouldn't say they because it's not the same developer, but same publisher, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it was similar to that. You finish it, and then you get an achievement for doing all of them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So after we get the file out, we end up going over the plan. This is another one of those cool, like, little cut scenes with a little bit of guitar riffs, very, very, like, Hollywood Guy Ritchie-esque feeling when it comes to, like, going over the plan on what they're doing. So Project Whisper is the Nazis have developed this, like, super stealth helicopter, right? And we want to go in there and take it from them. But where it's at is the London Nautica building, which is this giant complex where they do a lot of their, like, research for, aeronautics, space stuff as well. Because there's, we'll get to it, like, what's in there when we get there. But yeah, it's a huge research facility for the Nazis here. And as we go through the plan, is to capture the 3 prototype stealth copters. There's a gentleman we kind of met at the beginning of here. He's very standoffish, just kind of laying in his bed. Doesn't want anyone to talk to him. He gets up and he is very upset. He has had a rough time recently, and he wants to fucking do this and get it done and over with. So he is the actual guy. His name is Bobby. He is giving us a ride to the London Nautica. He has a lot of papers and such that kind of gets him past some checkpoints. He drives us up to the parking lot of London Nautica building. Tells us to make it fucking count, and then drives directly into the building with 3,000 kilos of explosives. So, big booms.
Boom.
Yep, statue falls down, like, right in front of you, and now you got this giant collapsed entrance to the London Nautica, which you kind of got to navigate around a little bit for. There's a hole in the fence you got to cut out. Robo-Dog tries to get at you. You kind of back up a little bit. Had a little bit of a hiccup with the game here. So once you back up from that dog, there's a spot to where one of the cars move and kind of, like, open up a path for you. That didn't do it immediately for me. So I'm kind of walking around a little bit, going back, come running back to the dog. I'm kind of like, okay, well, do I shoot the dog? When I'm trying to hit him with the laser, I'm like, what am I doing? I must have, like, hit the trigger point as I backed up from the dog again, and that's what caused it to have, like, oh, okay, this was supposed to open up. So you do a little more navigation, and then you get to the front of the Nautica building. So a couple of tries here on this one, only because there is a really cool, like, not cool, but, like, there's, like, a really, like, small, like, little crevice that you can get where there's a fuck ton of, like, ammo, health pickups, armor pickups that you can get in there. And I was trying to fight these guys a lot from that little office room. Bad idea. These guys got plenty of fucking grenades to toss at you, and if you want to get out of that room, there's a big robo guy back there, and a bunch of guys are just all looking at you anyway. So best way to do it, probably the way these guys did it, is you stealth around the top section and you kind of start taking them out one by one. I may have not stealthed it, but I ran around that top side, just kind of staying away from the bulk of the enemies, but still doing the way I do, which is balls to the wall, just taking everyone out. You go through, you get through the entrance. We kind of like the same thing with the compound. We kind of just are making our way through. So we are to get to the top, open the hangar doors for the others so they can get the stealth copters. So as we're making our way in, just mowing down Nazis and their robots/drones. On our way up, we find a room with artifacts. The Nazis are trying to do a bunch of research and working the technology backwards, and they find something about a Da'at Yeshua. I'm probably butchering that word.
I feel like you nailed it.
Yeah, we hope so. But Caroline tells us to grab as much as we can about that, and to have Anya look into that. This is where we will also get the laser craftwork. So this is going to replace our laser cutter. This is a big-ass laser beam that you can use as a weapon now, or to open up some hatches, some of the thicker hatches, some of the thicker boxes that we have out there you couldn't get to the little guy. And we just start kind of crawling through some of the ducts and tunnels to get to the hangar.
I don't know why you said it like that.
So like what?
You just put so much emphasis on thicker.
They're thicker. They're thicker. You can knock down the wooden ones because they're thin and they're brittle. And you got these real thick boys over there that you just kind of
did. That's exactly how you said it the first time.
I just like saying thick like that. Okay. So yes, as we crawl through some of the ducts, we get to the hangar where we got a fuck ton more Nazis and some big bots as well. This is also where you can find the auto mod for the laser gun as well. So I hope everyone got that. And as you take out everyone in the room, there is one last big boy robot that comes out of there. A super big robot I put down. You kind of mostly just take them out. You couldn't, I think, take them out the same way. I think I ran out of Tesla grenades at that point. So I was just kind of taking all the ammo I could, just putting it directly into the dome, just kind of working on one section of the robot. And you take them out just like the smaller guys. It just takes a longer time. He's got a couple more shots as well. It's got this weird, it's a laser gun, shoots a big ball laser that stays in one little spot. Give it a couple seconds and it'll explode big. I'm not sure what that was called, but it's a different type of variation for what they usually have as far as weapons on the big robots. Again, you take down the big super robot. You open up the hangar doors. The rest of the team comes in on hang gliders. You end up picking up Caroline so that she can pilot one of the helicopters that you get into with her. You end up heading towards the HQ. And does this really cool thing to where the helicopter blades fold back. They do a kind of nosedive, opens back up, goes into a super tight corridor. It's really funny. Whether you get Wyatt or whether you get Fergus, both of them are very suspicious of how tight these tunnels are and whether we can make it. And then Caroline just gives a nice little, "Are you done complaining?" once they get to the HQ. When back at the base, Caroline makes it a top priority for us to look at the artifacts and find out what the Da'at Yashul is. And that is the end of chapter 6. So yeah, how does everyone feel? Are we feeling good? We liking it? Are we having a good time? Anything you want to bring up as far as your journey on 1 through 6?
I can go. I don't know if I should go first or last since I've already played this before, but so yeah, I'm happy. I love this game. Like I said, I haven't played the spin-offs, so I'm excited to get to those if we do them. I know you said you're still planning on doing those, right? Yeah. Sweet. So then, yeah, I have not played them, so I'm excited about that. But it was just tons of like nostalgia coming back to this game. Like I remember. So this is before Doom 2016. However, Doom I think had been announced by this point or whatever, and we obviously had known about Wolfenstein a little bit, and so everybody, I just remember, I just was like, dude, I don't know if Bethesda can pull this off. I mean, like bringing these old franchises back and trying to reboot them in a way that's like
just tried to get rebooted like a couple years before that, and it was not well received.
No. And I was like, man, like I don't want to see them go the route of like the Duke Nukem 3D, like that's, even though Duke Nukem was always a joke, but even then still, like, they try to bring it back and do these things. It's like, it was obviously a different company too, but I just was like, I don't know, man, I don't want to see it go that route, blah, blah. And within the first, I mean, for me, it was like, the first 3 chapters of this game, I was like, oh, dude, these guys are doing it. Like, they are. I can't believe that they're actually, like, managing to reboot this in a meaningful way and, like, keep it, still keep the spirit of the original and do all these things, but you're really, like, you're almost building, it's like this impossible task of, like, building something from nothing, except that the nothing has evolved over time to become like what people remember in their heads, right? Like, obviously all of the Wolfenstein games did have a story. They would be like, Preston, you played a bunch of these old Star Wars games, but it's like they're just in the loading screens in between each level, right? Like, and so that's where you're getting
text, maybe a picture.
Because of but because of that, as you're playing through these older games, like, or when you play through those older games back in the day, like, you kind of build up a lot of this stuff in your mind. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm going to fill in the gaps of, like, what I think a cutscene would look like for this when I'm getting a description of what's happening, and then I'm running through this level and killing all these things and shooting these people and doing this stuff, right? And then by the time I get out, like, in my head, this is what it looked like, even though it looked like, just BJ kind of looking around doing the thing that he does in those earlier games. So it's like this, like, sort of insane task that they had set out in front of them, and they somehow were like, they made a Wolfenstein game exactly how you would have imagined it if somebody could have made one way back then. You know what I mean? Like, not if they could have made one, but if they could have made one like this, like with the technology we have today, right?
Yeah, that first whole level, like going up that compound, like is just like kind of like an old school Wolfenstein. It's just you got the castle area looking kind of place, all like the Nazi regalia all over everywhere. It was very like, this is supposed to kind of remind you of the original Wolfenstein games.
Of Castle Wolfenstein, right?
Yeah,
like
Castle
it's, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, it's just like, but as I was playing more and more of it, I was like, these guys have like nailed this fucking like almost impossible line to toe where you're like, you kind of get to do whatever you want because BJ doesn't really have any sort of story really outside of like, kill Nazi man. But then there's also actually a lot there that tries to keep that you have to keep center to the narrative of like what Wolfenstein is supposed to be about, like 100% of the time basically. So then it ends up turning into this thing where they just like give you way more story than you've ever had, but it never feels like out of place. It feels exactly what you would have imagined Wolfenstein would have felt like even back then. Mm-hmm. So I love it. Alex brought this up earlier and I agree with him, but so this game is obviously, and people have seen it now because of the footage that Preston has up for his recording, but this game is just as violent as like a Doom 2016, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier for Doom to have that kind of level of violence, right? Because it's just against demons and all this other stuff. So you're like, whatever, monsters. You can show getting cut in half and doing all this other stuff, and you're like, fuck yeah, dude, it's just blah blah blah. But like this is like, but if you had this in like a like let's say like a Call of Duty or whatever, everybody would be like, whoa, this is a bit much. But Machine Games is like, what if we just made all the enemies Nazi? Like, Wolfenstein's whole thing is like, well, as long as the enemies are Nazis, then we can kind of just do whatever the fuck we want. Like, who's going to complain? If somebody does complain, everybody in the room slowly looks at that person and is like, are you
a Nazi?
Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and so it becomes this perfect thing where you're like, yeah, you're right. I actually don't have a problem with any of this. This is perfect. Yep. And it works great. I love the especially towards the end here, like when you were talking about us getting the new Kraftwerk laser gun. I like every weapon in this game is so much fun and creatively made and everything else, and I'm loving it. It's cool. Such a great game.
Yeah, I agree. It making it Nazis or having demons in Doom allows you to laugh at it, right? Like, and that's, I remember there was a quote of like Mortal Kombat in one of the older games, and they were talking about how they balance the whole, like, the new fatalities with the new graphics. They get a bit graphic, right? And like, how do you make it to where it's not like, oh, like I want to like turn my head away? And they're like, well, you make it funny, right? And like when it's funny, then it's okay. It's not like gross. You're like, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, you're like, oh, that's hilarious, right? And that's kind of what making them Nazis does. Mm-hmm. Like you like can laugh at it, so then it makes it funny and it's okay. I think they killed it with the aesthetic. Yeah. Like from the first part where you're climbing up the castle, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like Castle Wolfenstein, like it from the outside, it's like this big, just medieval castle built into the mountain, and then when you get inside, it's all the stonework and stuff. But then when you land, like 14 years later, and you're flying over London, and they're talking about like you might have been flying over earlier. Either way, at one point they show it like top down, right? And like these massive scale buildings and like all futuristic, and all the guns are retro future. And all the armor is retro future and also brutalist, right? Like they very hard lines and concrete. Mm-hmm. Like I've never. There was a show, Man in the High Castles, based off a book, right? Where it was like a alternate future, where the Nazis took over after World War. Yeah, and like
it's an incredible show all the way up till the end.
Yeah, well, I actually haven't seen it all the way through, so thank you.
Don't never finish it. Keep
Okay.
keep the memory you have. It's perfect. The way you have it is
Okay.
perfect.
But the portrayal of like this post, like this
Yes.
retro future plate where Nazism and the Germans are taking over is incredible. Like they kill it. Everything is so good. Like I stopped to read a lot of the little articles and stuff, and the detail they add to the world
lot.
building. One article I stopped to read was like, we're excited that we're building the biggest bridge in the empire, and it was spanning like England to something else. And they talk about, it's just the little detail where they talk about like a select few members of the most loyal in society were like able to attend and nobody else was. And it was just like, it was perfect detail to add to this world building, because like you didn't need that, you didn't have to add there, but you did. Like you wrote a little article which was dope. So I love it. I love the guns. I think the guns are great. I think the gameplay is really, really good because like I can stealth and feel good, and I don't really have to. It's like not overly stealthy. I just have to crouch behind somebody so they don't hear me, right?
Yeah.
But like it, but they do the video game thing where you throw a knife and like people instantly die, right? Like you just wherever you hit them, you just instantly dead. So I like that. But then when there are the times where it's like, well, I'm gonna grab 2 machine guns and just run through here, it also feels really good.
Dude, when you get those 2 automatic shotguns both at the same time, it's like chonk, 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 chonk. I'm like, yeah. That's what I wanted.
And by the last level, I think was the first time I had almost like the entire wheel
circle.
filled out, which was very cool too. It just felt good. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I was incredibly surprised by the amount of story. I did not realize how narrative driven this was, and how deep they made this character. Like I thought this character was just Doom Guy again, right? So like the silent protagonist. Yeah, but he's not here. Like he has dialogue and he has feelings and he's building bonds with these people, and like he has morals, right? Like Doom Guy is like must kill demon, but like this one is like, I have to save these people that protected me for the last 14 years, right?
Soldier.
And like not letting like it's really well done. So I'm excited to continue on. But so far it's like kind of hitting on every cylinder. I think they've done a fantastic job.
How was performance for both of you guys? Both you play on Steam Deck, or Chris, you play on PC? You're muted. You're muted.
So I was typing, and plus I got Guido back here playing the song of his people over here. No, I mixed it, and in both instances it's flawless. I have
I heard great things about Steam Deck.
I downloaded PC, but I've only played on Steam Deck. It was flawless. I actually had one crash. I just quit for some reason, but it was like where there was, sorry, dog toy below my foot. I didn't know it was there.
I thought that was Guido.
No, it's I apparently have rolled over a squeak toy. I didn't know it. There was one crash, and I forget why it happened, but like it was right near a save point, so I immediately popped back in. I was good to go. Sure. But that was the only weird thing that I had, and I'm not even sure it was the game problem. Like maybe I even hit something and did it, but otherwise it looked great, played great, no frame drops. And for a game that like, I'm surprised you say it's PS4 era, because it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and it was PS3 era too, because technically
PS3,
PS3, but also like there's a lot of games like back then to where like PS3 was still getting versions of the games for well beyond the release of the PS4, just because of the install base. I did have a little bit of some chunkiness, so I think it started me out on like just above medium, not like high, but I think I had like a mixture of stuff. I was getting a lot of texture pop-ins because it's loading all textures in front of you. If you turn around real quick, I would notice that. The one thing that threw me off, and that's not as bad, but like I was starting to notice it with my hands. Like with my character's hands, like if that would come into the screen, it would be like this super flat, no detail, and all of a sudden you see it pop in with like the gun details and stuff like that. So I had to knock it down. So I think I got some weird optimization going on with my PC. So I just got to figure out what's going on with there, because it is not that new of a game. I should not have to drop it down below medium, but I'm just having...
Not at all.
I'm having screen tears. You should be able to run it way higher. Yeah, I'm having stuttering. I'm having texture pop-ins. So I dropped it a little bit. You'll notice the quality. I think it did it during the prison break scene, maybe. But I was having a little bit of issues with the graphics on there, so... I'm going to mess with it before I do part 2.
Yeah, we should take a look at your PC sometime.
Yeah, we'll probably mess around with it on Sunday. I'm going to try to see what we can do as far as just optimizing it, but... I dropped it down a little bit. It still looks great. I mean, it's just you're fucking going around killing stuff. It's a lot of fast action happening. You're not really noticing it too much. It's only when you slow down and like you're starting to look for like collectibles, ammo, stuff like that. You're starting to notice it a little bit more there. And like, I'll be looking at this like box with like a piece of ammo and a helmet in it. I turn around real quick and like the turret's there, but it's like very flat, no detail, no like anything. And then like a second later, it pops in all the detail. It looks nicer. So that's the only thing I could really say against it. I mean, you were talking about like you don't feel bad about killing anything in that game. When you're stealth killing a dog that's just laying on the ground and he gets the whine,
it's a racist dog, Preston.
Hey, I agree with you, but
it's a mutant dog.
I feel a little bad. It's just you get the whining sound and it's not killing you. So but I get it. It's a Nazi dog. Completely agree with you guys.
I'm not even sure it's full dog. It's a little robot. Like it's
the robots are robots, but like the ones with just like the armor on top of it, yeah. The ones
they
that
don't
have to stab in the neck a
they,
whole bunch of times. By the way,
they don't have fur. Like they're
like a Doberman. It has like a very thin brown coat. I would say
you were born in the wrong place. Unfortunately, go be with God now.
Yeah. The one main spot that I could tell that the gameplay was on easy mode for the person who's playing the gameplay is that when you get that first dog on you, like you're stabbing it a bunch of times. It's taking away almost all your shields and health. This guy is like dog jumps on him. He's like stab, dog's done. I'm like, you're not playing on the same difficulty as I am, sir. No, you are not. Because anytime a dog grabbed me in this game, like I lost a very large chunk of whatever I had left over. And it was like, you do not want those dogs jumping on you, like at all, period. Like this guy's like, oh, stab, done. Well, it's only a big deal. Like, you're not doing the same thing I am doing, sir. No. So that's when I found out on that. So yeah, I'm glad everyone's liking it. Everyone had a good time. Anything else anyone wants to add before we close it up?
No, I'm good here.
Right.
Don't forget to check in with us next week for part.
Hold on.
Oh, we're probably gonna put it off. Yeah.
Well, no, we're not gonna. Oh, we might pull it off, but like I want to tell you where you're gonna be playing.
Oh yeah.
We did 6 chapters here, and now we have 10 more left. So we're gonna do 5 and 5. So we are going to finish chapter 11. Okay. It's called U-Boat. Once you finish chapter 11, which I'm sure you'll get a cutscene, you press that select button. It'll show you the chapter you're on. Stop when you get to 12. But we are finishing chapter 11. We're doing 5 and 5.
Okay. Cool. Easy peasy. Awesome.
So I'm assuming, though, in between this, as far as the viewers are concerned,
I don't think we're stopping. Yeah,
we'll wait. We're not going to do. We'll wait to do Game of the Year. Then you mean?
I was thinking that maybe we had to do Game of the Year until after we finish this. But if you guys are ready for it, we can do Game of the Year.
It does not bother me when we do it.
Check in, everybody, next week as we have a new episode, and we will update you.
Yes.
We will surprise you with what will be coming.
You'll know whatever gets uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
You will know. You will be there. But thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. And we're excited. If you haven't played this game, you should play it along. It's significantly more fun than I expected it to be. Mm-hmm. So thank you once again. And with that, happy holidays. Preston, you know what to do.
Hit it. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.